Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, I'm here to share with you a little bit more about my experience with the Xiaomi 13T. Now I actually was on a trip to Japan last week and I used it as my primary shooter. Imagine that guys, the 13T as my main shooter all the way in Japan, and I'm super impressed with the kind of results that I was able to get on the camera itself. So I'll share a bit more about that later as well. By the way, did you guys see the DxO Mark result that they gave for the 13T series? I personally think it's completely unreasonable. They are like 60 or something and it just makes no sense, guys. I'll share a bit more about that later. So let's begin the video right away. Now first and foremost, like I said, since we are here to talk about the cameras, I want to share a bit more on the user experience of the camera. Now we have here a couple of sensors at the back. I'm not going to talk about the megapixel, but the cool thing about the LEICA tuned colors is that it's supposed to mimic the style of the cameras themselves. So having been traveled to Japan, I noticed that the photos taken from this 13T was actually very impressive. Now it's so impressive to the point where you don't even need to edit the photo and you can just share them directly on your social media. The photos produced by the 13T is actually very unique because it comes in this very nice, I would say it really depends to a different kind of person. Everyone's choice of colors are different, but to me they look very similar to what I was getting on my own camera. So I felt that it was actually super good because I don't have to edit them. There was minimal noise. You could see a very good dynamic range, guys. And the colors, again, back to the colors. There's two options here. You can go with the LEICA Vibrant or the LEICA Authentic. Me personally, I went with the Authentic because it just gives you a kind of vibe, a kind of aesthetic that looks like nothing that you can get on any other smartphone out in the market today. So again, those LEICA tuned colors is something that is very different from what you would expect from other smartphones, and in my opinion, the LEICA tuning is definitely one of the best out there compared to the Zeiss ones, the Hasselblad and all that. LEICA is my kind of style and the kind of vibe that I really love. Now, since I was on my trip to Japan, obviously I've been using the cameras extensively, and the good thing that I noticed here was that the battery life actually held up pretty well. I would say that a battery life really depends on a user's, kind of like use case. So for my style, I was taking a lot of photos and naturally about 6-7 p.m. I started my journey at 8 a.m. By 6-7 p.m. I was down to like 20%, so I really drained the device extensively. I was using it for my Google Maps as well, for my navigation. But the good news here is that with that 67-watt fast charge, I was actually able to charge up the device very quickly and I was ready to go again. So if you are going to be using your phone normally, the device itself will definitely be able to hold up for maybe 1 to 1.5 days. But if you are like me and you bring your phone as your primary camera, as your primary navigator as well, you can expect the battery to drop around in the evening, and then you can just top it up with some juice using the fast charger. Now moving on, it's also worth mentioning that the processor in here, yes, it is a Dimensity unit, and some people might complain, why isn't it Snapdragon? To me, it doesn't matter that much unless you are a super heavy gamer that games all the time. So I know that it's not everybody, and if you're just like using your phone primarily for your social media, light gaming, in fact, if you want to game Genshin Impact, you have no issues there at all. If you're just going to be navigating through your different applications, you will notice it's super snappy, it's super fast. And again, like I said, for this price point, this is the best experience that you can get, from any device out there. It's actually very good. Another thing that I want to highlight here is in terms of the display at the front. Now we do have here that 144Hz display. It's an AMOLED display. Naturally, you can see great contrast levels, great saturations, everything that you would expect from an AMOLED panel. But the 144Hz definitely gives you a smoother experience. You will notice it, guys. Trust me. Some of you might think that it's a gimmick, but if you just look at 60 going up to 90 and then going up to 120, 144 is definitely very smooth, like especially if you scroll into your Instagram and if you are browsing through the thousands of pictures that I actually took on my 13T, you will appreciate that 144Hz refresh rate. Alright, last but not least, maybe I should touch very quickly on the design. Well, I think the design, you guys pretty much already know how it looks. It looks exactly the same as the 13T Pro. There's also the option of that vegan leather version, and it is very nice to hold. In fact, I was also using this device, in Japan, and I did not use a case on it. Yeah, it's vegan leather at the back here. It's very grippy. It's definitely more grippier than this green version. But if you ask me in terms of colors, I prefer the green over the blue. But yeah, vegan leather is good enough to give you a lot of grip if you're just going to use it without a case. Anyways, that pretty much wraps up my quick review of the Xiaomi 13T. Again, a very impressive smartphone for the price. You can't really find this kind of value, let alone this is actually the most affordable smartphone with that LEICA tuned colors. If you are into photography, if you love photography, you love the aesthetic kind of look that these cameras can produce, I strongly suggest you to check out this phone. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Thank you for watching today's video all the way till the end. Don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Do take care and stay safe. Bye bye.